Hello everybody and welcome to this week's coding class. I'm super excited today because we're going to be coding a game. And today's game has bats, it has a boy, and it has a ball. So probably I'll just show you guys what it is, okay? It's going to be popping up, I think, there. And when we press green, you'll see that the bats start flying around. And the objective is that you have to hit the bats with the ball so they disappear. So if I press on the ball with my finger, there you go, 1 bat, 2 bats, and 3 bats. Cool, I won the game. And the cool thing is I can also play again. So if I touch the boy with my finger, all 3 bats come again. And you'll see that if I put the ball up and it doesn't touch any bat, nothing happens, okay? So see, oh, I touched that one. Okay, let me see another space. So let me touch the ball, and you see nothing happens. So I really have to hit the bats, and I managed to hit all 2 of them to win the game. Are you guys excited to code this one? I sure am. So this is a little bit more complicated than last week's coding class. I know you guys can do it, okay? It's just some lines of code, and it has a bit of everything. So it has messages, it has speed, it has appearing, it has disappearing. Basically, it's going to be a lot of fun. So without anything else, let's start coding. So I hope you guys have your tablets or iPads or computers with ScratchJr installed. If it's your first class, don't worry, you can perfectly well follow it. I explain more or less everything as we go along. There's tons of other classes for you to do as well. So with that, let's open up our iPads and start ScratchJr. Okay, so the first screen we has this home screen and this question mark. So let's press on the home screen and let's start a new project. So up here on the left, under where it says My Projects in ScratchJr, you have this rectangle with the plus sign. We're going to press on that. Every time we start a new project, you're going to see ScratchJr here. So we're going to put our finger on ScratchJr, so long press on ScratchJr until he starts wiggling. And we're going to press on that red cross to take him out, because for this coding class, we don't need ScratchJr, okay? We're going to start by putting a background. So we go all the way up here to next to ABC. You see this rectangle with the green and the blue. That's for backgrounds. And we're going to scroll up all the way to the bottom of the backgrounds, because here at the bottom on the right, so beneath these dark ones, you see this one which is called Savannah. So it has like grass and a tree. So we're going to press on that one. Let's press on the tick sign. And this is going to be our background. Okay? And now let's start adding some objects. Probably we start with the bats. So we go to ScratchJr. We go to the house. Under that, you have this plus sign. So we're going to press on that plus sign to add a new object. We're going to scroll down. Keep scrolling, until we see the animals. So dog, rabbit, chicken, monkey, elephant, and on this line you have this bat. We're going to get that bat, okay? So press on the bat and press on the tick box. And now we're going to press on that bat and put him right at the top of the screen, okay? So just put your finger on him and drag him up. Now we go here to the left again, and we're going to press that plus sign under the bat, under the yellow box with the bat. And we're going to scroll down until we get to the animals again, and we're going to add another bat. Okay, we're going to put 3 bats on this coding class, on this program. So under the monkey and the elephant again is the bat. So press on the bat, and press on the tick box on the top right. There we go. Now, we're going to pick up that bat and put him again to that middle, a little bit higher. Okay, so more or less there. And now we're going to get our last bat. So under the bat with the yellow box, we're going to press that plus sign on the left. We're going to scroll down. And under the monkey and the elephant, we have the bat again. So we're going to get the exact same bat. Press on the tick box. And drag him a little bit up with our finger until he's under the other 2 bats. Okay? More or less there. Okay, so we now have 3 bats. We're missing a boy, or a girl if you want, and a ball. So let's go under the bat to the plus sign. We're going to scroll down and get our boy, okay? So any of these people will do. Let me see. Let me get this boy here with the yellow and blue pants and the handout. So we're going to press on him and press on the tick box, okay? And we're going to drag him down here to the bottom left. So just put your finger on him and drag him down, okay? And now we're down to our last object, which is the ball. So press on the plus sign again. So under the person that you just added, there's a plus sign. Press on that. And now scroll down, all the way down, until you reach the bottom, where you have the rocket ship, the boat, the sailing boat, the bus, and you have here the ball. So we're going to press on that ball and press on the tick box. And now we're going to drag the ball down all the way to the bottom. Okay? Cool? So everybody should have 3 bats, a person, and a ball on their screen. Okay? And with that, we're going to start coding. So, just one thing. You'll see that one of the bats has disappeared because we have more people than fit here. So if you put your finger here and go up or down, you'll see that it scrolls. So we're going to scroll all the way to the top so that we see the 3 bats. And we're going to start coding the bats. Okay, so press on the top bat. So you should have the top bat with the yellow box around him. And each bat is going to have 3 lines of code. One for when the ball touches him so that he disappears. Another one to reset him so that when you touch the boy he resets. And another one for the movement. Okay, so probably let's start with the movement. What they'll always be doing. So if you remember, they're flying around. So we're going to go to the yellow box. We're going to drag down the start on green. Okay, so when we start the program, he starts flying. We're going to drag down a speed. So we're going to make the bats move in different directions in different speeds to make it a little bit more exciting. Okay, so they're not always at the same place, or else you would just throw the ball once and it would hit all 3 of them. So let's go to the orange block. And in the orange blocks, you have this one here with the person and the lines, which is the speed block, the set speed. So drag that one down next to the start on green flag. Under it, you have a triangle. Okay, so press on the triangle, and you'll see that you have slow speed, which is the person without the lines. Oops. Normal speed, which is somebody that looks like he's walking with some lines. And then fast speed, which is the person running. So for this bat, we're going to use normal speed, okay? So just press the one in the middle. And now, press on the movement arrow. So the blue boxes, and we're going to have him move in that direction. So we're going to use the arrow to the right. Drag down that arrow to the right, and what we want him to do is that all the time. So we're going to use the red blocks to finish it, but the one with the arrows, which means repeat this line of code over and over again, okay? There we go. So our top bat is going to be moving in that direction at a normal speed, okay? So that's one line of code done. The second line of code is what happens if the ball hits him, where we want him to disappear. So we're going to go to the yellow blocks, and we're going to drag down this one here, the one that has 2 people. So it's called start on bump, and it means if another object touches you, start doing this, okay? So we're going to drag that one down, and if somebody touches him, we're going to have him make a noise and then disappear. So let's go to the green blocks, and you see this popping block, so the one that already has a speaker, we're going to drag that one down, so it makes like this pop. I'm not sure if you can hear that from there. And then we'll go to the purple blocks, and we're going to use the hide block. That's this one here that has a silhouette of a person, but it's not filled in, so it's not with white. It's this one here, okay? Drag that one down, and that's all he has to do. So if he's hit with the ball, he does a pop sound, and he disappears. So we can go to the red blocks and drag down the one without the arrows, because he's not going to be repeating that all the time. He only gets hit by the ball once, and then he disappears. Okay? Cool? Awesome. So now, we're just missing one line of code, which is what happens when we touch the person. And when we touch the person, the bats reappear. So we're going to do that with messages. Let's go to the yellow block. And you see these last two, the ones with the envelopes? This is receive message and this is send message. So what we're going to do is we're going to receive a message, and when he receives that message, he has to reappear, okay? So drag down that one, and if you press on the triangle, you'll see the colors. So orange, red, yellow. This is the color of the message being sent. So if you send a red message, and this one has the color orange, he won't receive it. But if you send an orange message right now, he will receive it. So let's leave him orange for now. And let's go to the purple blocks, and let's do the show block, or appear block. So that's the one with the white person filled in, okay? We drag that one down next to the envelope, the open envelope, and then we end this line of code with the red blocks. So drag down the red blocks without the arrows. So basically, we are going to code this for the person, but when we code the person to send a message, this bat receives a message and appears again, okay? So that resets the game. Cool? Everybody did these 3 lines of code? Awesome. So we're going to do the exact, more or less the exact same thing for the other 2 bats with slight differences. But it's very similar because they're all doing the same kind of movement. They fly. If they get hit by the ball, they disappear, make a sound and disappear. And if we touch the person, they receive a message and appear again, okay? So let's get on with our second bat. So up here, make sure you press on the second bat, and the second bat has the yellow box around it, okay? And now we're going to code exactly the same thing. The movement, so we go to the yellow blocks, and we drag down the start on green. We go to the orange blocks, and we drag down the speed. And now we're going to change this speed to something else. We're going to press on the arrow. And if you remember the last bat, we did normal speed. So for this one, we're going to do fast to make it different. So press on the person that's running and with all the lines, okay? And that bat was moving to the right direction. So we're going to have this bat move to the left. Go to the blue arrows and drag down the move left arrow. That's this one here, okay? And we're going to want the bat to be doing that movement forever, as long as the program is running. So we go to the red blocks, and we drag down the red block with the arrows, okay? It's called the repeat forever block. So it will always do this line of code as long as the program is running. It'll just repeat it and repeat it and repeat it. That's our first line of code. Our second one is what happens when the ball hits him. So let's go to the yellow blocks. The yellow block of the start on bump, so the one with the 2 people, the white and the gray, drag that one down just beneath it, okay? And when he gets hit by the ball, we want him to make a sound. So we go to the green blocks, and we drag down this pop block. Just makes a sound, pop. Okay? So if it's touched by the ball, it does pop, and now we want it to disappear. So we go to the purple blocks, and we go to the disappearing block, or hide block, which is this one here of the person without being filled in white. And we drag that one down, okay? And that's all we have to do in this line of code. So we're going to finish it with a red block, okay? And by the way, I kind of do one line of code beneath another, but if you want, this line of code could be here, it could be here. It doesn't really matter where it is on the screen. You can just place it anywhere that you want, as long as it's not like physically attached to the other one. So you see how these fit in? This one is like separate, okay? And now we're going to do our last line of code, which is when it receives a message for it to appear, okay? So we go to the yellow blocks, we're going to the message block. So the one with the closed envelope is send a message, and the one with the open envelope is receive a message, or start on message. So that's the one that we want, the one with the open envelope. Drag that one down, and we're going to press this arrow here, and we're going to do a different color than orange, because if you remember, our first bat was orange. So we're going to press red. Okay? Cool? And when it receives a message, so when we press the person is going to send a message, and when the bat receives it, we're going to want him to appear. So we go to the purple blocks, and we go to the appearing block, the one with the white person. Just drag that down, and we're done there. Okay? And now we're going to go to our red blocks and finish this line of code. Okay? So same thing as the first bat. We have one line of code, which is him moving around on the screen. We have another line of code, which is if you get hit by the ball, make a noise and disappear. And if you get a message from the person, appear again. Cool? So we've now coded 2 bats. We're missing one last bat. So let's go here to the third bat. So you see 1, 2, 3. We're going to press on him so he has a yellow box around him. Okay? And we're going to do the same 3 lines of code with slight changes. So we go to the yellow blocks. We're going to do the start on green. So this is again him moving around the screen. So when we start the program, we're going to tell him to move at a certain speed. So go to the orange blocks, drag down the person with the lines, press on that triangle, and we did one moving at a normal speed, one bat moving at a fast speed. So we're going to do this one the slow speed. That's the one with the person without any lines, and it kind of looks like he stopped. So that one, okay? And now we have the top bat moving that way. We have the middle bat moving that way, so we're going to have this one move again to the right. So let's go to the movement blocks and drag down that arrow that moves to the right, okay? And we're going to want him to do this for the whole program. So we go to the red blocks and we drag down the one with the arrows, the repeat, okay? So when we start the program, he's going to move slowly to the right and repeat. Slowly to the right and repeat. And he's just going to keep doing this for the whole program. That's the first line of code. The second line of code is what happens when the ball hits him. So let's go to the yellow blocks. We're going to go to the 2 people, so the start on bump, so the yellow and the kind of gray person. We're going to drag that one down. We're going to make the sound, sorry, mental block there. So we're going to go to the green blocks. We're going to drag down the speaker, so that little pop sound, and we're going to have him disappear. So go to the purple blocks and the hide block, the one that has a silhouette, not the white person, the one that only has like the outline of the person. Drag that down for him to disappear, and that's all he has to do in this line of code. So we go to the red blocks and the one without the arrows, okay? So when the ball hits him, he makes a sound, he disappears, and he finishes. That's all he does. And now we're just missing the last line of code. We're almost there, guys. I told you this one would be a little bit more complicated than usual, but even so, you guys are following amazingly well. If there's anything that I go too fast, just pause the video and you can always rewind a little bit. That's the good thing about YouTube. Just go back and follow through it again, okay? So last line of code is the message. So he has to receive a message. So let's go to the yellow blocks. Receive message, so the one with the open envelope. We're going to change the color by pressing on the triangle and changing it to yellow, for example. Okay? And when he receives a message from the person, we need him to appear again. So press on the purple and go to the show button. That's the one with show block, with the white person, and we drag that down. And now we're going to close this line of code by going to the red without the arrows, okay? So if it receives a message from the person, it appears again, and that's all it has to do, okay? Oof! That was a long coding of 3 bats. Okay, we're almost there. We're just missing the ball and the person. I promise those will be super fast to do, especially after the bats, which had 3 lines of code. So let's go to the person by pressing here on the left. Okay, so press on the person. Make sure you have a yellow block around the person. And the only thing that they have to do is send messages when you touch them. So let's go to the yellow blocks. So when you tap him, so that's the one with the finger. You see the one that has the hand? Bring that down. And when you touch him, he sends a message to all 3 of the bats for them to appear again. So we're going to drag down the closed envelope. So not the open one, the closed one. We're going to do the first one orange, because we did the first bat orange. We're going to drag down a second one that goes to the second bat. And if you remember, the second bat, press on this triangle, was red. Okay? So press on the triangle under the envelope and press on red. Then drag down the third one for the third bat. Press on the triangle and make it yellow. Okay? Cool. I hope I didn't go too fast there. So you need 3 closed envelopes, each one for one of the bats. So when we touch the person, he's going to send an orange message, which goes to the first bat, saying, please appear again. He's going to send a red message to the second bat, which says, please appear again. And he's going to send a yellow message to the third bat that says, please appear again. Okay? And that's all he has to do. So we're going to end this line of code with a red block, which always ends a line of code. Okay? So, and you may ask, why didn't you just send one message to all three bats? So like all bats would get an orange. That would make it easier. Yes, but I kind of find it nice that the three bats don't appear all at once. So one bat appears, and another bat appears, and another bat appears. And that's what this does. So it kind of makes them appear at different times. Okay? When we run the program, I'll re-explain that again. So now, we're just missing the ball, and we're done. You guys can play your game. So let's go here. So next to the bats, if you remember, there's this scroll up and scroll down. So go next to the bats, put your finger more or less here, and scroll down until you see the ball. And we're going to code the ball. So press under the person, the ball, and make sure that the ball has the yellow square around it so that you're coding the ball. What does the ball have to do? The ball, when you touch it, has to jump and then go down. And that's it. So it's one very simple line of code. We go to the yellow blocks. We go to the one of the touch, so the person with the touching, so start on touch, okay? So the one with the hand. And now we want to go to the movement blocks to have him jump. So we're going to press on the blue blocks, and we're going to go to the hop block. And that's this one here with the lines going up and then the arrow going down. So we're going to drag that down. And if you look under it, it has a number 2. Now what the number 2 means is that it's going to jump 2 places into the air, okay? 2 movements into the air. But that would be very low, so it would be more or less 1, 2, more or less here. It wouldn't reach the bats up there. So we're going to tell it to jump higher. And the way we do that is by changing that number. So we're going to press on that 2, and this little calculator that appears, we're going to put 20, 2, 0. So press 2 and 0, and you should have 20 under it. Okay, so that means jump 20 places high into the air and then back down. And that's all he has to do. So we're going to go to the red blocks and drag down the red block without the arrows. Okay? Oof! That was a lot of coding. So, let's give it a trial run. Do you guys manage to get all that? Hopefully, yes? Cool! You guys are amazing. So, with that, let's put it in full screen mode. So that's next here to the house. You see the rectangle with the corners, with the lines in the corners. Press that so it goes into full screen mode. Press your green arrow and you should start seeing your bats flying, okay? And if you take your finger and you tap on the ball, you should hear that pop sound if you hit a bat. You shouldn't hear anything if you don't hit any. And try and hit all 3 bats. There we go. I got all 3 bats? No, I didn't. Not yet. There we go. I got the 3rd bat. So you see that after you've hit all 3 bats, there's no more bats flying. So if you want to play again, you take your finger and you press on the person. And the 3 bats will reappear. Okay? Cool! So everybody, thank you so much for coming to the coding class. I hope you like it. I hope you like your game. Let me know if you guys make anything else with it. So if you make any other games out of it, or you're inspired to do it with other animals or anything. I know you can't leave comments here on the YouTube channel. So I did, and I think the handle will appear here, this Instagram handle called thecodingdad. So ask your parents to follow it and leave comments there. I'm going to post a little video of this game there. So under it, leave all the comments. Did you like it? Did you not like it? Also suggestions. Do you guys want to code anything and want me to help you? So tell me like your idea of coding and I'll try and make it into one of the next classes, okay? I'll be super excited to hear from you guys. And now, like, if you like this coding class and you're not subscribed yet, I think it's going to appear there. So press on that button to subscribe to the Coding Dad channel. I should have one coding class, new coding class every week for you guys. And I hope you guys enjoy this, okay? Take care and see you next week. Bye!